Welcome back to lecture series on control systems. So today we are discussing about the partial fraction techniques. Why we are using partial fraction techniques? In last class we discussed about the basic rules and basic transforms and basic results of Laplace transform. And generally we are using Laplace transform for converting an equation from time domain to frequency domain. So if we got already if we already we are having some transfer function in frequency domain and we are finding its response. What is response is C of s. Transfer function is C of s by R of s. Response is just C of s. So we have to multiply transfer function into R of s for finding C of s. And time response is nothing but C of t. We have to convert it back to time domain. For that conversion from frequency domain to time domain, we need Laplace inverse transform. And for doing that Laplace inverse transform, generally we have to fractionalize or we have to fractionalize the characteristic equation, or we have to fractionalize the transfer function in frequency domain. For that fractionalizing, we are generally using partial fraction technique. So now we can uh, come across this technique, and after that it will become more clear while doing problems in control system domain. Now we are doing only in a mathematical approach, but from the next class onwards we will take some standard second order system problems, and we will find the value of damping ratio, omega and frequency of natural response, such things. And after that we will find the response of that transfer function by using partial fraction and inverse Laplace transform. Okay, so before that we should have a clear cut idea about the partial fraction techniques and how we can find inverse Laplace transform using this. Okay, so inverse Laplace transform and partial fraction techniques. I hope everybody may know these things in your first year mathematics classes. Anyhow, we are having a small review of this, and we have to spend some more time if we are weak in this topic. Okay, find L inverse of the given transfer function, and the transfer function is 1 by s square plus 5s plus 6. So this is a transfer function. This may be a transfer function or something else. In this problem, we are just asking you to find the L inverse. I am not specifying whether it is a transfer function or not. That's why I am saying that it is just a mathematical approach we are doing here. From the next class onwards, we will do it in detail. Okay. So 1 by s square plus 5s plus 6. So if you are fractionalizing it, we will get 1 by s plus 2 into s plus 3. So by using partial fraction technique, I can rewrite it as 1 by s square plus 5s plus 6 is equal to a by s plus 2 plus b by s plus 3. That is the thing you want to learn. If this is the normal equation, because s plus 2 into s plus 3 is nothing but s square plus 5s plus 6. But that can be rearranged as a by s plus 2 plus b by s plus 3. This is the basic basic step for doing the partial fraction technique. Okay. Now, so f of s is nothing but it is a function in s domain. F of s is 1 by s plus 2 into s plus 3, that is equal to a by s plus 2 plus b by s plus 3. So how we can find a? So systematically speaking, to find a, you have to cross multiply both sides with this denominator of a. Denominator of a is s plus 2. So you have to cross multiply both sides with s plus 2. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. So you have to cross multiply on the both side with s plus 2. So you have to cross multiply on the both side with s plus 2. So uh, you know that if you are cross multiplying with s plus 2 on the right side, what you will get? A into s plus 2 by s plus 2. So s plus 2 and s plus 2 will get cancelled. And b into s plus 2 by s plus 3. And you should know that after this multiplication, you have to put s is equal to minus 2 for all the s terms. From where you get s is equal to minus 2? Here you can see put s is equal to minus 2 because you are multiplying with s plus 2 is equal to s plus 2 for finding a. So please take s plus 2 is equal to 0. So s is equal to minus 2. That is the case. So what I want to convey is if you are multiplying on the right side with s plus 2, first term will be a itself and second term will be b into s plus 2 by s plus 3. And again you are going to put s is equal to minus 2. So what will happen? What will happen? Here you can see b into s plus 2 by s plus 3 where s is equal to minus 2. What will happen? If you are putting s is equal to minus 2 here, b into 0. So this term will get 0, will become 0. So what I want to convey is, you don't need to multiply on both sides because on the partial fraction side or on the right side, you will only get a itself. All the other term will become 0, whatever it may be. That will help you to save some time. So if you want to find a, theoretically speaking, you have to multiply all the equation, right half side and left half side and right half side with s plus 2 and put s is equal to minus 2. But what I want to say is on the right side, after the all procedure, definitely you will get a only. All the other term will become 0. So we have to check about the left hand half side. 1 by s plus 2 into s plus 3 into the s plus 2 and put s is equal to minus 2. On the right side, it is a only. All the other term will become 0. So what the equation is? A is equal to, what happened here? S plus 2 and s plus 2 will get cancelled. So 1 by s plus 3 and put s is equal to minus 2. So 1 by minus 2 plus 3. So a is equal to 1. So you should be very clear about this. Don't multiply and substitute in the partial fraction side, because if you want to find a, the only thing remaining on the right side will be a. If you want to find b, the one and only term remain on the right side will be b. So you have to do calculation only in the equation side. This is the basic equation side and this is the partial fraction side. So on the partial fraction side, you will get either a, b or c, such things only. All the other term will get cancelled by substituting s is equal to that minus 2 value. So if you want to find b, theoretically speaking, multiply both sides with s plus 3. So as now we are multiplying with s plus 3 because the denominator of b is s plus 3 and put s is equal to minus 3. And we know that on the right side it is a into s plus 3 by s plus 2 plus b, because b's denominator and denominator will get cancelled by s plus 3. And of course you know that if you are putting minus 3 here for this s, what happened? That a term will become 0. So on the right side or on the partial fraction side, the one and only thing remains is the b only. So b is equal to, on the left side what happened, s plus 3 and s plus 3 will get cancelled, only 1 by s plus 2 and put s is equal to minus 3. So you will get b is equal to minus 1. So now you got both a and b. Now we are substituting a and b back to the partial fraction equation. So f of x is equal to a by s plus 2 plus b by s plus 3, that is equal to 1 by s plus 2 minus 1 by s plus 3. In the last class we know that what was the basic equation for Laplace transform of e raised to at, that is equal to 1 by s minus a. E raised to minus at, 1 by s plus a. So now we have to take the inverse Laplace of that equation, because so f of t is equal to L inverse of this f of s, this f of s. So L inverse of 1 by s plus a is equal to e raised to minus at. We already know these things. So f of t is nothing but L inverse of 1 by s plus 2 minus 1 by s plus 3. For the first term, it is e raised to minus 2t, Laplace inverse transform. For the second term, 1 by s plus 3, it is e raised to minus 3t. So now what we have did, initially we got some function in S domain. We applied partial fraction technique and we find the fractions, and after that easily we converted it back to time domain using Laplace inverse transform. So I hope it is clear what is the correlation between Laplace inverse transform and partial fraction. Now, I hope this method is already known to you. We have did this in some other problems also. But now, okay. But now we require, and there are some more methods in partial fraction techniques that we will deal in the upcoming area. So partial fraction types. Type 1 is roots of the denominator of f of s are distinct. Here we can say, in last problem also the roots were distinct. Root were 1 by s plus 2 into s plus 3. So roots are s is equal to minus 2 and s is equal to minus 3. Both the roots are distinct values, not complex values or like that, not repeating values. So roots are distinct, different roots. So in such case, we can apply the previous method. That method we already discussed in detail. That's why I am not going to much problems on that method. This is an example for that method. 2 by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. S is equal to 0, s is equal to minus 1, s is equal to minus 2. All the roots of the denominator are distinct values. So we can do this problem also in the same method. Here we can fractionalize as 2 by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2 is equal to a by s plus b by s plus 1 plus c by s plus 2. And you can find a, b, c by using the same method. Now it is type 2. Denominator with multiple roots. Here we can say this is a function in frequency domain. Its denominator is having s into s plus a into s plus b whole square. So for the first term, the root is s is equal to 0. For the second term, it is s plus a is equal to 0. So s is equal to minus a. For the third term, it is s plus b square is equal to 0. So you will get s plus b into s plus b. So s is equal to minus b and minus b. Two roots are there. So multiple roots are there. So due to the presence of this square term, we can't exactly apply the previous method. We have to take some adoptions. So let us see. So f of s is equal to k by s into s plus a into s plus b square. So that is equal to a by s plus b by s plus a plus c by s plus b square plus d by s plus b. This is very, very important. You can't stop partial fraction at the square term. You have to add another term d, and you have to write like this, s plus b only. So if you want to find a, you have to take the same step that we have done previously. F of s into s, to find a, f of s into s, where s is equal to 0. For finding b, for that also you have to apply same method. B is equal to the total equation into s plus a, where s is equal to minus a. And for finding c, you have to multiply the total equation with s plus b square, its denominator, and put s is equal to minus b. Up to this, everything is same. But for the last term, for the d term, there is a small twist. For finding the d, you have to multiply f of s with s plus b square, just like you have done in C, but you have to differentiate that entire term. So d by ds of f of s into s plus b square, and put s is equal to minus b. So a differentiation additionally a differentiation step is there. So we can take an example. Type 2. F of s is equal to 2 by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2 square. So I am going to rearranging the function for doing partial fraction. Rearranging for partial fraction. Pf is partial fraction. So that is equal to a by s plus b by s plus 1 plus c by s plus 2 square. As there is a multiplication, multiple roots are there, I have to add another term, plus d by s plus 2, plus d by s plus 2. To find a, cross multiply the entire equation by s and put s is equal to 0. We already know that no need to cross multiply entire equation. You have to take a only from this side, because for all the other terms, if you are multiplying with s and put s is equal to 0, these all terms will become 0. That's why a is equal to left side 2 by s plus 1 into s plus 2 square into s, put s is equal to 0. So that is equal to 2 by 1 into 2. Okay. Actually, this is not 2, this is 2 square. I'm sorry, please write a square here. So 2 by 4, that is equal to 1 by 2, that is equal to 0.5. And b is obtained by the same method, multiply f of s with the denominator of b. Denominator of b was s plus 1, and put s is equal to minus 1, and put s is equal to minus 1. So b is equal to 2 by s into s plus 1 plus into s plus 2 square into s plus 1, and put s is equal to minus 1. Please solve that, you will get minus 2. For wherever s is appearing, please put s is equal to minus 1. So you will get minus 2. And c is obtained by cross multiplying with s plus 2 square, and put s is equal to minus 2. The same step. Here the denominator of c was s plus 2 square. That's why we are multiplying the total equation with s plus 2 square. And from this we know as it is s plus 2 is equal to 0, s is equal to minus 2. So put s is equal to minus 2. So here s plus 2 square and s plus 2 square will get cancelled. It is 2 by s into s plus 1. So as s is equal to minus 2, put that in 2 by s into s plus 1. You will get 1. C is 1. Now the step where a small change we have to consider is only for D. D is differentiation of the step that we are applied for C. This is the same step what we have done for C. F of s into s plus 2 square, where s is equal to minus 2. Please put a minus here. S is equal to minus 2. So D is equal to differential of that step. Differential of that step. So d by ds of 2 into s plus 1 into s plus 2 square into s plus 2 square. So these s plus 2 square and s plus 2 square will get cancelled. So these things d by ds of 2 into s plus 1 at s is equal to minus 1. So 1 by x, differential of 1 by x with respect to x is minus 1 by x square. Like that, differential of the whole term is 2 is constant here, minus 1 by s square into s plus 1 square. And in the denominator we have to differentiate it. So denominator is s into s plus 1, that is nothing but s square plus s. So if you are differentiating again s square plus s, it is 2s plus 1. So we are writing a 2s plus 1 here. This is the method. And put s is equal to minus 2. And put s is equal to minus 2. Please be strong in differentiation, otherwise it will take some more time. Okay, and put s is equal to minus 2. So the entire answer, it will become 1.5. So now you get a, b, c and d. So f of s is equal to 0.5 by s minus 2 by s plus 1 plus 1 by s plus 2 square plus 1.5 by s plus 2. I substituted a, b, c, d in the partial fraction expression. Now, how you can find the inverse transform? You can directly apply 1 by s. This is 1 by s. It is nothing but its inverse is 1. So 0.5 by s means its inverse is 0.5, and the second term 2 by s plus 1. So 1 by s plus 1 is equal to e raised to minus at, e raised to minus 1t. So 2 into e raised to minus 1t. 1 by s plus 2 square. Okay. 1 by s square, that is t. Please, it is shifting theorem. 1 by s square is t. Here it is not 1 by s square. A shifting is there in s domain. So 1 by s plus 2 square. So if shifting is there, we have to multiply the time domain equation with e raised to at. So if you are shifting by a, s plus a, you have to multiply the time domain equation with e raised to minus at. Like that, it is basically, it is 1 by s square is t. 1 by s square. If it is 1 by s square, its time domain expression is t. And as it is a shifting is there, 1 by s plus 2 square, we have to account that shifting by multiplying with e raised to minus 2t. Please check frequency shifting theorem. It is there in the previous class. Plus, here the fourth term is 1.5 into 1 by s plus 2. So 1.5 into e raised to minus 2t. Now I hope you may have an idea why we have to learn all the shifting theorem, time shifting theorem, frequency shifting theorem, such things. This everything will you have to apply. Everything will come across in your problems. Okay. So this is type 3 problem. Roots are complex conjugates, because here we can see s plus a is one portion and s square plus bs plus c, where the roots of s square plus bs plus c is complex conjugates, or they may be having complex conjugates or imaginary roots. You can directly fractionalize those things. Okay. If it is s square plus 5s plus 6, you can easily fractionalize as s plus 2 into s plus 3. But in some cases, you cannot fractionalize directly because the roots may be complex or imaginary. So if such terms appear, what we have to do? So we have to take it as a by s plus a into bs plus c. Two constants are there. B is constant, c is constant. bs plus c by s square plus bs plus c. So a is given by our usual method. A is equal to f of s into denominator of a, s plus a. So a is equal to f of s into s plus a, and put s is equal to minus a, normal thing. But b and c are solved by cross multiplying the overall equation and equating the coefficient of same like powers of s. We have to cross multiply the total equation and we have to identify the similar terms of s. Okay, that we will check in a problem. So f of s is equal to 1 by s plus 2 into s square plus s plus 1. So by partial fraction, f of s is equal to 1 by s plus 2 into s square plus s plus 1, that is equal to, so we cannot directly fractionalize s square plus s plus 1. Can you? No. If you have to do that, you have to find a and b like 1. It is the a plus b term, and a into b, that should be also 1. So it is very clear you cannot directly fractionalize. So a by s plus 2 plus bs plus c into s square plus s plus 1. Not directly fractionalize, you can fractionalize, but the fractions, the roots are imaginary. If you are by taking calculator, find the solution for s square plus s plus 1, you will get imaginary roots. Okay. So a by s plus 2 plus bs plus c by s square plus s plus 1. So a is equal to the normal method f of s into s plus 2, put s is equal to minus 2. So I am not going to that step. We did it many times. S is equal to minus 2. So you will get 1 by 3. You will get 1 by 3 as a. To solve b and c, this is the task here. So you have to write the total the RHS and LHS of the partial fraction equation and cross multiply the equation. So if you are cross multiplying, denominator is same on the both side. So if you are cross multiplying, what happened? On this side you will get only 1. On this side a into this term. So you will get s plus 2 will get cancelled. So a into s square plus s plus 1, and for this term bs plus c into the total term. So this denominator and this portion will get cancelled. So bs plus c into s plus 2. So 1 is equal to, put a is equal to 1 by 3. You already got a. So put a is equal to 1 by 3. 1 is equal to 1 by 3 into the same thing, repetition. And I am going to open the brackets. 1 is equal to s square by 3 plus s by 3 plus 1 by 3 plus bs square plus 2bs plus cs plus 2c. I am opening all the brackets. Now compare. What are the coefficients of s square on right side and left side? On left side, there is no coefficients for s square, so it is 0. On right side, we can see coefficients of s square are 1 by 3 plus b. So if you are equating coefficient of s square, you will get 0 is equal to 1 by 3 plus b. So b is equal to minus 1 by 3. And if you are going to find the coefficient of s term, please check. On the left side it is 0, no s term. On the right side it is 1 by 3 plus 2b plus, okay, plus c is there. Okay, this c plus c is there. Okay, so c, put b value also in that equation, and now you will get c is equal to 1 by 3. So now you got b and c. So substitute those things back to the basic f of s equation. A is substituted a here, substitute b here, and substituted c here. Everything is okay. This is the basic thing, f of s. Partial fraction is over. But this type is having some more difficulty for converting it to time domain. That's why inverse Laplace transform, you have to do some fabrications in the equation. Some manipulations are needed for converting this to standard Laplace inverse formats, because this is in standard format, 1 by 3 into e raised to minus at. This thing you can convert directly to L inverse, but this thing we have to adopt some steps. I will explain these steps, but these steps, how I got these steps means you have to be more familiar with the technique. You have to do more problems, then only you will get that skill. Okay, so f of s is equal to 1 by 3 s plus 2 plus minus 1 by 3s plus 1 by 3 by s square plus s plus 1. So 1 by 3 by s plus 2 minus 1 by s, 3 is here in denominator, into s square plus s plus 1 plus 1 by 3 s square plus s plus 1. Now I am rearranging s square plus s plus 1 as s square plus s plus 0.25 plus 0.75. Is it okay? And this total time s square plus s plus 0.25 is nothing but s plus 5 s plus 0.5 square, s plus 0.5 square plus 0.75. So I am substituting this thing as the denominator of this step. So now it is the same one as previous step. In this one, here I am replacing denominator. S square s plus 1 is replaced here, and s square plus s plus 1 is replaced here. Now on the next step, for this one no change, minus, this is s, 1 into s. So minus s plus 0.5 minus 0.5. I am adding plus 0.5 and subtracting minus 0.5 plus 1 by the same thing. Okay. Now you may get some idea, because this is a cos term, s by s square plus omega square. And this one we have to convert into a sine term, omega by s square plus omega square. but it is not direct terms. Shifting is there, s plus 0.5 is there. Here also s plus 0.5 is there. For that I have added plus 0.5 here also. Then only the entire term will come into a format of f of s plus a, where if shifting is there, for all s plus s term the same shifting we have to apply. Okay, we will check in the next step. In the next step I am going to splitting this term into two terms, because I need only s plus 0.5 here. This minus 0.5 I don't need. So I am splitting it again. First term, no change. Second term, s plus 0.5 only I have taken. Minus 0.5 I made a new term, minus 0.5 by the denominator. And with that minus 0.5, I want root of 0.75 here, because in the denominator it is s square plus omega square. So in the numerator we need omega. What is sine omega t? Omega by s square plus omega square. So that's why I am dividing minus 0.5 with a 0.5 with a 0.5, and I am multiplying with root of 0.75. Okay. And the third term is already here. What was there previously? Previously it was 1, but 1 it will not make any sense. I want root 0.75 there. So I am multiplying numerator and denominator with root 0.75. Root 0.75. Okay, here there is a small mistake. This should be also done here, not in denominator. 3 into root 0.75 is needed, not 3 by root 0.75. Okay, that is just calculation. Anyhow, now this is in the standard form. 1 by 3 into e raised to minus 2t. 1 by 3 into e raised to minus 2t. And for this, it is basically 1 by 3 into cos term, s by s square plus omega square. Cos term with the shifting of 0.5. So I have to account that shifting. 1 by 3 into e raised to minus 0.5 t, shifting is here, into cos omega t. Omega is root 0.75 into cos root 0.75 t. And in this equation, now it is minus root 0.75 by some constant into s square plus omega square. So it is by solving this all constant, you will get 0.15, and shifting is 0.5. So e raised to minus 0.5 t sine root 0.75 t, plus the last one. Please check this value, because you have to do this 0.75 multiplication here, not division, it's a multiplication. So please check this value. Into shifting is e raised to minus 0.5 t, and the total term is omega by s square plus omega square. It's a sine t, sine 0.75 t. So this is somewhat time taking steps. You need to practice this for taking inverse Laplace, and in this problem is typically somewhat difficult. More steps are there. Generally this much difficulty will not appear in your problems. So please practice such things. So we have completed all the partial fraction techniques, and we have touched somewhat inverse Laplace transform. So now and from the next class we will discuss more in detail for your subject related problems for Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform. Hope you will enjoy this session. So we can see in the next class. Thank you.